When we're talking about the Middle East and we hear the term refugees, we're mostly thinking about Arab refugees and all the claims against Israel regarding them, but you're talking about the Jewish refugees.
Yes, I'm talking about the truth, about historical facts that were neglected, at best, ignored, or falsified by our enemies. And we must remember there were 856,000 Jewish refugees who left penniless. Most of them were deported. Many of them were subjected to torture and pogroms. The most noted one is the Farhud in Shavuot of 1941, where 140 Jews in Baghdad were murdered. There were other pogroms where Jews were murdered in Libya, in Algeria, in Syria, Lebanon, and other. Their story was never told. It is time, first of all, to tell their story and to recognize it. So for that, I'm promoting a government resolution which will dedicate a special day for Jews from Arab countries' heritage and tragedy.
Now, in addition to telling their story, are there any practical demands? They don't want to go back to their countries.
Absolutely not. On the contrary, we say the model of receiving the Jewish refugees and absorbing them here, where today they are part and parcel of the Israeli society. You cannot tell any difference. This should have been also the model for other refugees, most notably the Arab refugees. They were not deported. They left on their own accord, or they were heeded the calls from Arab leaders of the time. They left the country to let the Arab armies, 7 of them, just clear the way so they can come and push us into the sea. They left to countries like Lebanon or Syria, where they speak the same language, it's the same heritage, the same culture, the same religion, pretty much like our Jewish brothers who were received here. But here, today, they are part of the society. Over there, they were denied citizenship and any civil rights. They were kept in subhuman conditions, and by the way, not only in foreign countries, but also in the territories under Palestinian control. In Hamas, in Gaza, under Hamas, there are still Palestinian refugee camps. Why? In Judea and Samaria, in Area A, there are still refugee camps. So we know that they were used as pawns against us to delegitimize us. Well, no more. We have to tell the story, first of all, so it's a story about truth and recognition. Secondly, it's a story about justice and rights. And when we talk about a final settlement agreement or final status agreement with the Palestinians and normalizations with the Arab countries, and everybody says that it cannot be achieved without settling the Arab refugee problem. Okay, there is another side to this coin, and this is the Jewish refugees. So when we settle and solve the Arab refugees by compensation, the same accord should be granted to the Jewish refugees. And by the way, it was President Clinton, 2000, Camp David, when he called about, he talked about solving the refugee issues. He called for an international super fund, international fund that would compensate the refugees. This should go both for the Arabs and the Jews.